What's up, guys? So going over the watch list video for today or next week, rather. We're going to be going over, I'm going to kind of be building my watch list and we'll be just going through some stuff. So first things first, we can see, let's go with the indexes, right? SPY broke below the trailing stop. Major warning sign. Okay. That's number one. We take a look at everything else. We can see the squeeze, losing momentum, headed to the downside. QQQ is actually shifted into negative momentum, 2 bars with high selling pressure, and broke the trailing stop, and momentum is about to cross below zero. Okay, we have a key support area right around here, which we want to pay attention to after this run up that we had from this high to this swing low. Now we're having a run up, and we have a major level at this gap level here. So this is going to act as an important level of support between 474 and 472-ish. So we want to pay attention to that. We go look at SPY. Let's kind of take a look at all of this. We can let's go to the weekly time frame. Take the retracement from here into here. Let's see how that looks. Okay. And then this retracement here. Okay. So let's dive into lower time frames. Okay, so you can see here we're kind of starting to get into this cluster of support. So we're kind of holding in this area. We've got a lot of support here on SPY. Once we get through here, this is kind of our final leg of support. If we break that, we need to be cautious, right? Okay, so, but that's for the indexes. Indexes, you got to take it day by day. There's not too much to talk about. We go to the 30-minute, you can see we're in a clear downtrend, right? Level, we're in a clear downtrend. Now we're at like a cluster of support right here. We can kind of see and highlight it this way. This might make it easier for you. Go like that. And then, so that's our kind of last leg for this level here. And then we don't have much going on from there. But right now we're in between these two levels here, so we can watch out and see, okay, maybe if we break, we'll head down to the next level of support, and then so on and so forth. So that's SPY. Right now, we don't have any setups. We don't have any buy signals. We have a 15-minute squeeze. You can see that trailing stop has held all the way down. So our first signal to look to go long is probably a break of that 15-minute trailing stop. 5 minutes broken a few times. 30-minute obviously hasn't broken if the 15-minute hasn't. So I guess your initial long trigger would be a break of this 15-minute trailing stop. Until then, we continue to look at the market as shorts in the short term. You can see here kind of what happened. We were short, red. I zoom out. Red 10x bars were below the trailing stop. We broke that trailing stop, and then boom, we had a nice move up. Broke red 10x bars, and then once we broke above, then we started to move higher. Okay, so that's that. So that's the indexes. Another thing that I want you to recognize is that when we're looking at this and we sort, let's go here. So we're sorting from strongest to weakest. And in the short term, it's relatively the same. But right now, here's the names with strength. Okay. So you've got your Bitcoin mining stocks, your Coinbase, your MSTR stuff, those types of stocks. Those are the types of ones that are strong right now. You have XHB, which is home builders. They had positive earnings reports, which is leading this thing to kind of move higher. So what we would look for is a lower time frame squeeze to play to the upside, kind of like this right here. And then we have the pop to the upside like this here, pop to the upside. So that's another thing you want to be looking for. Okay, and then from there, we go back to the charts for the market watch. So IYR, this one is kind of consolidating, kind of looking like those long wicks are popping pattern, but also could just be a consolidation for the next leg up. So let's keep an eye on that. Potential to trade it higher. We are below the trailing stop on a couple time frames. So we do want to see us get back above that before anything. And then from there, we'll kind of make our decision. So um, not too much to pay attention in terms of the charts right now, but what we do want to recognize is, and what's useful here is we can pay attention to, okay, what has strength and what has weakness. Tech is the weakness. You want to look to short tech, okay? And randomly, XLC, or sorry, randomly Jets. Weird. Okay. But you can see here XLC, QQQ, XLK all have short signals. So and actually SMH just fired off the short and it closed at the low of day. So, sorry, not the 5 minute, the 30 minute. You can see here that 15, we had sell signals and the 15-minute squeeze fired lower. It's just been showing us clear weakness to the downside. So we want to pay attention to just pay attention to what you're trading. We want a short weakness, which is tech right now, and be long the things like this. A lot of this in the middle is just neutral, right? So the Dow has gone back neutral from being a strong stock. Now it's not far off from heading back into being having strength, but right now it's not one of the ones that we want to run to, right? So then so these are kind of the top sectors we want to pay attention to. If we want to take a better look, right? So we can look at, so here's a better view, right? So we've got those names that were there before, IWM and BTO. IWM showed a little bit of strength today. I mean, not selling off as much as the market did, but what we need to see is we need to get back above that trailing stop and just see some more clear price signals. So let's check the lower time frame. Yeah, 15 minutes got a couple sell signals and we're trading below that trailing stop. We got to get back above the trailing stop. You can see we broke above and then came below. Boom, gave it a kiss and then rejected and sent downside. So we don't want to try to get long when we're seeing signals like this, right? We want to be back above that trailing stop. It's a good, easy tool to use. And then, okay, so let's take a look at some other stuff, right? So with this in mind, keep in mind the things that have strength, right? So the things we want to pay attention to. These will be things that I'm going to be paying attention to into next week. And typically with these two types of sectors, the home builders and IYR, I'm just going to trade those as is. I'm not going to go and search out different things to trade on these just because I feel like this is probably the most liquid thing within that sector. Okay. And then as for the indexes, I'm mainly going to be looking short on the indexes. Like I said, until we have a reason for this to turn around. We have sell signals, sell signals, sell signals on the major components of QQQ. The only one that we don't is SMH, and that's at the dead bottom of the list and has shown the most weakness and just fired off the squeezes. That's why it's not showing sell signals right now. Okay. So these are the names we want to look to be short, right? And then these are the names we want to look to be long. From there, couple of things we want to look at. So a few things that are at the top of my watch list. Walmart. This is because if we look back here, XLP is looking pretty strong still. We were in this earlier this week and took profits on it. And now I'm looking to reload in Walmart. and maybe we catch a run into earnings, which is next month. But right now I'm keeping an eye on this 30-minute squeeze. And there's also a 15-minute, and now there's also an hourly. So I want to keep an eye on these names. I want to see, okay, maybe we can get a buy signal to have this move to the upside. Right now you can see the 618 is acting as resistance. If we zoom out to higher time frames, let's see if we can find something. I don't think there will be any fibs relevant to where we are now. Just because the run up has been so strong. So we do have the 200% there. Let's go to 1 hour. Let's clear this off for now. Okay, you can see we're trading above the 618 on this time from that swing high to swing low. Let's fix this a little bit. So we're trading above that 618 right now. What I want to see is maybe we can catch a move up into this 200% one, which probably lines up with this right here. Let's take a look. That lines up pretty good. So I think for Walmart, we're going to want to target this 200% range right in here. And it's a little difficult because this thing's been pretty much straight up. So the swings haven't been that great to predict measured moves, right? So we have the support here where we bounced previously. It was resistance here, and now it's support. Okay, now what I want to see is, okay, can we get a push up into this area right here? So about $1 upside. So I do think that this is setting up pretty nicely. It's got relative strength and it looks good. So I want to pay attention to this and try to trade it to the upside. On top of that, I think XLE took a bit of a hit today. It's got a monthly buy signal, but the daily seems to be setting up for some upside. That's the 30-minute. There's the daily. I think that if we can hold like the support here, let's go ahead and mark some stuff out. I think that if we can hold this support, I would like to see it hold the support here and potentially look for us to continue higher back into $100. I'm thinking not based off of this time frame, but if we look at this swing high to swing low as well, we can kind of get a better reading. So yeah, you can see that's kind of acting as resistance, that 50% retracement from this move here, as well as the 100% right there. So that's acting as resistance. So we may need to get above that first, and then we can look for higher prices. But I do think that there's strong potential that we could head up into this area right here. I like the idea that we can move up into here. So I do think there's strong potential on that. And honestly, it's coming from the monthly chart. You can see we've got buy signals and we've got fib extensions up into here with some confluence. So I'm thinking, okay, we can probably catch a move up into this area here. It lines up with 2.5 ATR. So perfect. I like the idea. We just need some other time frames to give us signals that this is going to continue upside. Now, this is a good sign. The ADX is turning green on the 4-hour or the 10x bars, but we want to see some more continuation. We've got support here. Now, let's see if that can hold and we can use that. But here is a clear resistance for us. So we have to be mindful of that. This is a clear resistance level or zone, right? We're rejected right off it. So we need to break above that. I'd like to see a squeeze and a break above that. We've got the squeeze. And now all we're looking for is we just need some trending momentum to break through. And then we can target this area up here. And then this target up here once we break this swing high. Okay, so that's XLE. I think one that we want to run with and probably want to pay attention to more so is Exxon. So this is one of the top holdings. It does have earnings coming up, but I think this chart is even more solid than XLE, and kind of dive into that, right? So you can see here we traded down, broke the ATR trailing stop, broke above it, and then came back down, and then boom, had to push up. We've got a squeeze. We go to the weekly time frame. Weekly doesn't look very good, but monthly looks good. I like this. It looks good. We just need a buy signal. ADX is green. Looks like we have some strength. So let's keep an eye on that. I think that there's potential that this could continue to move higher. Now, next pick that I'm looking at is I really like Coinbase here. So Coinbase, you can see it's on the weekly time frame. It's building a flag. We took this in the chat today. We started a position in CONL, and that's kind of our position that we are looking at to trade to the upside. I like this weekly squeeze. I think it looks really good. We also have a 3-day squeeze, which also looks good. We have a daily squeeze, which also looks good. We got buy signals on that. So there's numerous things lining up for this, but this weekly looks excellent. And I think that we can head up into this 300 to 310 range. So 297 to 309 area. So that's the main thing that I'm targeting. And then potentially we could head up into this 340 area. So that's what I'm watching on Coinbase. I think there's really good potential on this trade. And if we pull back, I want to add more. I'm looking to see, okay, if we pull back into this 50 retracement, I really like that as a place to add. So let's put that there. And then, yeah, so that's what I'm watching from there. Anything else? Lastly, and then we'll do a scan real quick and that'll be it. We go to QQQ. This one, I think that we've got a 30-minute squeeze here. I believe the 15-minute fired off. No, it hasn't. So we have a 15-minute and 30-minute squeeze right now. So this is probably going to be the determining factor whether we head higher or lower. Coinbase is doing its own thing. Walmart's doing its own thing. They've got their own relative strength. So with this, just keep an eye on what we do from here, right? It might be a little tricky getting below the support, but that is based on what we are seeing now. There's potential we could continue to flush lower, and our next support seems to be, let's dive out to this monthly real quick and see if there's any bigger levels. So go here. You can see we hit that 618 like on a dime. That's crazy. So that pretty much was almost perfect. So no two key levels, right? Okay, that fib extension right there was also resistance. So no prominent resistance levels right now. If we get through here, we have potential to flush back down into here, this 460. So we just want to pay attention to that. But this is the most immediate thing to pay attention to besides these swings that are already setting up. I would wait for a little bit of a pullback in coin if you didn't get in already. You might be a little late to the party. Run a scan real quick and then we'll call it good. Let's see if anything pops out at me. WMB and TOST. Okay, this thing seems to be doing its own thing. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Interesting. This one does have pretty interesting setup. Okay. So let's see here. I think this one's interesting. Earnings. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a inverse head and shoulders action going on here. Um, so we got a buy signal on the daily, we have it on the weekly, we have it on the 1 hour. So this is pretty interesting. There's potential we could head higher. I'm gonna keep it on the watch list, but I don't love this consolidation that we're in. So I don't love that, but it may be a potential breakout pattern. So let's add that to the list. And that's obviously strong. So we'll keep an eye on that. Okay. Scan. WMB. Yeah, this one's gone. I was looking at this one last week. Great move. So this one we can't do anything with. It's already gone. So yep, hitting that 618 already. All right, that's all I've got for you guys. So keep an eye on. First things first. We've got strength in Walmart, TOST, coin. I probably won't trade TOST, but I'm gonna keep it on the watch list just in case I decide that it looks good. Other than that, I think that you look to be long tech or names like this, and then you for shorts, you're paying attention to XLC, SMH, XLK, QQQ, the tech stocks, right? And then let this 30-minute squeeze, 15-minute squeeze be a driving force in the decisions that you're making in terms of the overall market. And then on top of that, once we get a 15-minute squeeze, we might, or 15-minute break above the trailing stop, then we can start to pay attention to, okay, maybe we should be looking for a reversal. But as of right now, nothing's bullish in terms of the indexes, so treat it as such. You can see why it's at the bottom, towards the bottom of the leaderboard in the sectors, and focus on the strength, short the weakness. And yeah, all right, guys. Hope this helps. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you for the markets next week.